Good morning. It is March 22nd, 9 o'clock, 8:57 a.m. This is the Board of Assessment Appeals, primarily commercial properties. Hearing officer, Catherine, in this is Bridge 2. Oh, I thought there was a switch. Is he feeling okay? I know. It's in the back. Okay, be right in. Oh, no. Okay, you go ahead. Okay, got it right in here. And then I'm going to bring back this folder. Thank you. Okay. Hi, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to Monday morning.
Yes.
Yes.
First name.
That it is. It's a good start to the week. Hopefully we end it as well as we started, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to let you know, I'm Catherine. I am on the Board of Assessment Appeals. My role today is to understand your appeal.
Okay.
And to give you confidence that I can present it to a majority of the board,
Okay.
and we can deliberate and vote on it.
Okay.
At a later date, within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So that's the role. Make me smarter so
I
can do a good job for you.
Don't lose this. Because you're going to be doing this for a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, this is my last hearing. We're doing the commercial.
Okay. So do you want me to sign this?
Yeah, so what I need to do is let you know everything's being recorded because of COVID. So it's all on the tape. And so for the tape, I have to do a few things for the record. The start time for this hearing is 9:01. This is appeal number 95 for 280 Post Road. The owner is 280 Post Road, LLC, and representing for the appeal today is Harold Platts. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. Okay, Mr. Platts, the town has your property valued at $1,033,800, and you are requesting a value of $754,351. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it'd be lower. Actually, I have a couple other things, but yeah.
Okay, well then we'll start with that. It's a good starting.
Yeah.
It's for the record. And then if you could just raise your right hand, I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeals now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, great. So, help me get, I did take a look through the papers last night. to kind of familiarize, so you're, it's Artie's Auto Body, is that correct?
It's, actually, it's Route 1 Auto Body.
Route 1, okay. And then, tell me how you came up with your value and what you're charging.
Okay, so if you look at the, I actually gave you a survey.
Okay.
You go to the survey.
Would that be the back here, a couple of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says Platts and Flanagan. Should be the last page.
Yes?
Okay, you got that?
Yes.
Okay, so to the right is 280 Post Road. To the left is 290 Post Road on that survey.
I just have a couple of pages, so I'm trying to put it together. Yeah, let me look at it. Can
I actually gave them this. I don't know why they're doing it.
Oh, because everything has to be digitalized, and they probably wrote it all the way down to 5, because it's all online.
Okay, so.
Okay, can I, yeah, let me pop over there so you can tell.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
I do better with the aerial views myself.
So this is the Post Road.
Yes.
And this is that side road, so it's
Yes,
really
that
not.
goes down like Bed Bath & Beyond,
Right,
down here,
Bed Bath.
the circles over here.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is my building here.
Okay.
This is the property behind it, okay?
Okay.
This is Flanagan, and this is their property behind it on Longview. These
Oh,
are
okay.
separate lots,
Okay.
So mine, they have as one continuous lot that they're taxing.
At the same, there's no like
There's-
excess acreage for this, it's not a different code or something?
Right, so they're
Okay.
taxing this at an excess,
An inflated rate,
inflated rate,
Okay.
but this is residential, this is a different zone.
gotcha.
Now, when I had purchased this property, Tom, the tax assessor, Tom Brown.
Yes, I can't, so that's right.
Tom Brown told me to merge the property, and even if I went down to town hall to, say, build on it, they say you still can't because this is a separate zone. This is a separate zone, so I'm getting taxed on the same.
On the same zone,
Right.
okay.
Okay, so that's one. Then you have pictures there? I
Yes,
gave
I do,
pictures.
they're in color,
Yes,
so, because I do like to see the,
so,
you know, this way it doesn't get mixed up with
Yeah,
any of
that's
my
fine.
papers here.
but I'll give you this if you want.
I
have
don't,
it.
once I've seen it,
Okay, so these
Yeah.
are our buildings, we touch each
so
other.
they are attached almost, yeah.
They're
attached.
they are
Yep.
touched, they are attached.
Yeah,
The sizes are the same.
okay,
So the back lot, this is his back lot. His lot is improved.
yeah,
Okay, he has a very nice improved lot. I don't have that. This is my lot. I don't have the sidewalk. I don't have
okay, and he comes all the way out to the street.
with sidewalk.
This is you,
This is me.
okay,
So they have the wrong picture in the tax assessment also.
okay.
That's another thing.
Okay,
So if you go to his property, my picture's showing up on his property.
okay, and this is next door,
Yes. So this is Flanagan's rear lot.
okay.
Okay, so his is improved. He's got a retaining wall here. He's all
And
paved.
this is you, I can see the same truck, you know?
Correct.
Right, okay.
Okay?
Although yours is improved, I mean,
Well,
it's paved.
it's
and
not
yours-
paved.
It's just
it's
crushed.
processed.
It's all that, okay.
That's all it is. But my issue is here, if you look at the zone, this lot next to me is 8 feet higher than mine, so it's not an approved lot, a building lot. You know, it's very hard to build on. So the value of that property is just good for parking cars. That's it.
Yours,
Correct.
yes.
It's
And that's what he's using his
That's
for,
what
but
he's
you're
using his
saying
for,
it could
too.
be more? No, because
His-
he has the retaining wall.
mine should be less than his. His is valued at 200,000.
Okay,
Mine should be less. That's what I'm saying. Because
Okay.
it's not improved. Okay. So.
okay, now I want to take a look at
See
your
here,
field
here,
form.
this here. See what I'm talking about? This is grade.
Yep,
My property's up here. So grade here and grade here is two different, where he's got a flat lot he's dealing with. I'm not dealing with a flat lot.
but you couldn't improve it anyway, is that correct?
Correct.
You're just right. So I want to look, because this is what I want to understand on your card too, especially when we're Because there's so many cards in here, I want to make sure I get the right one, because you included both, which is fine, which is...
No, I did the wrong,
Oh, so this is you, right?
that's Todd.
That's not
Flanagan.
you? That's Flanagan. That's what got me in the beginning. I was
Okay,
spending all the time on
So what,
Where's
here's
your
my
card?
part, that's my part.
Okay.
So they didn't have these at the time, when I put my paperwork in, that this wasn't available online yet. So he had printed them out for me, I don't know if this is the field card, this is the
Yeah,
red
and
field
we
card.
all have our things, and a lot of us, like
Okay.
the field card, because we're used to looking, we know where the numbers are.
Okay, so on the field card,
So that's wait, I got Flanagan again.
we're gonna put Flanagan up and we're gonna put me.
You got 280, so you're 280, so this is the subject as well.
There you go, right here.
All right.
So we're both cinder block buildings, okay? They're center.
And can I just add, so, because this is what I know you're being taxed on, here's the $1 million. So these land units, is that that's not the front one, you're saying that's all of it?
That's all of it.
So.
This should be less. Back here, I should be taxed on this property less than this property.
So that's the first thing, let me.
Which I have the neighbor next to me, which I'll give this to you.
Okay, so how much of this is your lot? Do you happen to know of the 12,750?
It should be on the map.
That's what I was wondering, if it's.
Hold on. Existing conditions, this is for both lots, 25,000.
Well, those are that's like the rules.
That's the rules.
That's the rules, that's not.
So
See,
it's
and you
half,
have
it's basically
12,000.
half.
It certainly looks like half, but we have to get to measure, or lot 47.
It's gonna be the same as Flanagan, because we have the same, so whatever it is, mine is. We have the same exact.
Okay, so 280 subject. The land is combined. Okay,
But it's
and you
being
have.
taxed at a higher rate.
Oh, no, and I totally, so this is the building, and this is his
You can have this.
unapproved.
You can have this.
It's in there, it's just for the vision, like this is.
Yeah, but
like
it's in
to talk to you
pieces.
and know,
I know, but these people at the meeting aren't gonna understand this either if it's in.
We are all on Zoom and everything, I can make them understand. But
Okay.
there's one thing I'm getting here.
Okay.
I would be honest with you if I told you, and sometimes too much paper,
Right.
things get lost too, so.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, this is like what I used to present,
Okay.
because then I know. And so, like, so the sum.
So this is long view.
You got 12,750, and it's about half?
Yeah. It's
And
60,
half.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, if you look at your pictures, this is the house next to my property.
This is the other thing I wanted to ask about, because your condition factor is greater than 1. So I want to ask, okay.
And so here's the property next to me. They're at 2498, okay?
That's a two-family, though.
Yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
land. But this land is here. That's
That's
them.
the one next to it. I saw the blue house in the picture.
Yeah, that's the,
Well, and that's what, so what is, and your land is at 620. Okay.
right, and they have more land. They have a larger.
Yeah, I'm not sure
parcel.
exactly, because his neighborhood code should be different, because commercial is gonna be different, but I'm gonna look at, like, that's
Okay.
definitely, I get that that's not jiving with the reality that's actually out there.
Okay.
And let's just take a look at,
Let me see if I got Flanagan's property.
I got Flanagan's here, because you gave it to me.
His property is
Well,
here.
I wanna look at his numbers.
Oh, no, here. This is Longview.
Yes, that's the other side.
That has a picture of my property. That's not Todd
But that's
Flanagan's.
his.
Right.
Yeah,
This is my property that's on his tax map.
okay, so this is long. It's all gonna come back to me when I can do it. Same, okay, and this, so this is, he's the 290, right?
Correct.
His, I wanna get back on top. See right here, his 290 Flanagan. Okay, because his land at the 368. And yours is at the 600. See?
Yes. No, I understand.
So that's,
Okay.
I gotta highlight that, is what I'm saying to you, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to
No,
do
no,
it
no,
like
I
that.
understand.
I think that's an important part. Okay,
Okay, so
okay,
the building itself, say this building, so we're gonna take both buildings, okay?
yep,
First floors, so this one, his is valued at 8119, okay? This building was built in the late 60s, okay? Mine was built in the 30s. Mine is $131.
okay, I just want to ask, do you know if he has another car though? Because he's just showing an appraisal for 368, but he's got half.
Yes, he has the other card, I gave it to you.
So that's why.
That's Longview. That's this one.
Okay, so if you
That
were to
goes
add
to this one, right,
so you need to add his two
correct,
to get to your one.
right.
Okay.
See, these are, see, this
And
is
what number is he on Longview?
215, 187.
187.
You can have this.
Okay. I'm sure it's in here. I don't want to take extra stuff. Because there were, I was wondering.
215 Longview.
Okay, so his land here, you got to add
No,
another.
it's 215 Longview.
203. He's 215?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 215. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, not at all. So that at least brings him closer, because now we're at 570 to your 620. Okay, so gotcha. Okay, so now we're at the building.
Now we're at the building. So his is a newer building, okay? So we're in the same zone. So they're concrete buildings. So
Yes.
I'm being assessed at 131. He's being assessed at 81. My office is being assessed at 230. It's not a doctor's office in there. We don't see patients. I mean, that's a very large. Now let me show you something else. And I didn't have this in my assessment, so I want you to.
I mean, it's a similar square footage. They are similar uses. I mean,
Yeah, they're empty built. I mean, it's empty and stuff. It's called, you drive
he's
his
pulling
car.
his trucks in.
He's pulling his trucks, he's got plumbing stuff going on.
And you're pulling
And it's
cars
where-
in and
yeah.
you're about to, okay.
Now here's behind me, Bed Bath & Beyond. This is Fairfield Automatic Transmission. He's 5822. That's where I should be at that area with those numbers. Oh, you know, I didn't put that in, I didn't put that, this should be the valuation, not $131.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not nothing to do with you, but, and then his is $81. His is a newer building. I painted, this is brick, I painted it gray. You know, that was the only thing I did was paint the brick gray.
Yeah, but I mean, they're
But
kind of, you know, box-like.
Yeah, 1937, box-like here, same thing.
And, okay, I just want to write down, so the 290, the building, so the, I know the building money. Okay, so you have, again, his, and then what was the other one you brought in here?
This is
2196?
Kings Highway.
2196.
This is right next to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yep. Kings Highway. Okay.
So and I'm just gonna quickly, I'll show you quickly, just other, I'm just gonna.
I can easily get that, but do you have Kings Highway in here? Or is
You
that
can have
another
it.
one?
You
Okay,
can have
that
it.
one I'll add. Great.
If you could just circle, I'm not complaining.
No.
Even his
What
property.
I do,
Even his property is lower, so.
you know, it's similar when we.
Here's the property. He's at 3378. These properties that we're dealing with are dealing with chemicals, oils.
Right.
So these properties
they're all
are basically kind of contamination going on.
But he's, and I'm not dissing you, but like it's also coming to the question, he's in a DCD, you know, designated commercial
that's the
design. I thought you were a C4.
No, these.
Okay, they're all
are-
the same zone.
Yeah, so I pulled the same zone, because I didn't want to.
Okay,
See,
great.
am I right? The zone?
I have to, you know,
No,
here,
it should
the
be-
neighborhood C4.
C4.
Yep, you're right.
So,
I thought I saw something else here.
so that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So then if you go, I just pulled a body shop in town. Let me just see. So I pulled a body shop in town. So you can see what the rates are going. Now here's Fairfield Collision. These are $69.
That one is still, that's like a Commerce Drive. He moved,
That's
okay,
too
right.
far away.
No, but I like to know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar
Similar
area,
thing.
you know, it's a commercial area.
So Post Road, $69. J&R
Yeah, and
Service
I mean,
Center.
that's a less commercial area. I mean, it's obviously more retail, but you
Right.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
less industrial.
$69.
Can I have those?
You can have it.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So tell me how, I feel, and thank you, because this is
You're
the
welcome.
type of information that we need. You know, so many people come in with like, I just don't know how to use the information they're giving me. Like, it's just that, but this comparative
You
owned
mean-
property
yeah.
is what we need. That's what we talk about. That's what we discuss
Right,
when we
right.
deliberate. So thank you for appropriate information in a good volume. You've explained it. My last question, if you know.
do you understand, like, also I did a calculation of the office space, it's in there?
Yeah.
My office space isn't what they have. I have 628 square feet, and they're showing, I mean, it's not a big, I mean, it's 100-something feet, but
Okay.
it's $200-something that they want to charge you for an office. I mean, what are they getting for, like, 8 office space in town, $200-something? I mean, I'm not 8 office.
And I'm gonna hear all those later, because during COVID, they didn't get anything. So
No, I know.
That's gonna be, that's a different, but
That's a
I
whole
did
other
have,
thing.
that's a whole other thing, but
I mean,
this is very, but I do have a question, just
Sure.
how did you come up with your requested value, or what are you requesting now? I just need to know, like, well, this is what he's basing it on.
Okay, so
And then we
can we do the math quick? So,
Absolutely, we don't have to do it quick, everybody gets their time here.
okay, but I don't wanna, it's 15 minutes. All right,
You know
so,
what? I'd rather spend an extra 5 minutes understanding it here than have to
Okay.
table it and bring it back.
okay, so my building is 5,000, let's go to the building, it's 5,000, it's 4490, so 4490
Yep,
times, and I'm looking at, I'm comparing it more to, the building that's behind me. What's his rate? $58?
that was the, yeah, you gave me that piece, hang on, that was the, this is Commerce Drive.
No, not
He's
Commerce.
at,
No, Kings
well,
Highway.
he's at 69.
Kings Highway.
And he's at Kings Highway, 3378?
No,
No, that's
not
the land.
That's the land.
5822.
Okay, so 5822 times 58.22 is 261,407. Okay? Now, if the office space, he's got the same price, his office space is the same price as his shop space.
Yep.
So, I mean, do I go with the 5822? Do I add that in as that number, or I mean, how do you do that?
Well, that's what I just want to know how you came up with the number, and I understand it's a soft way, you're looking for more reasonable things.
So let's say 6822 for the office. Let's say 68.22.
And what is your office? Is it sheet rock? Is it just a section of the?
It's just a section of the building, it just has sheetrock.
Yeah, you just boxed a little
Yeah, so
section out.
people walk in like this, and it's nothing fancy, it has porcelain floor, I mean, it's not
Oh,
marble.
so it's your lobby. It's like
Yeah.
where people come in to do their payments and all that.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So 6822 times, I have 778 square feet. And that's 53. That's $53,000. Yeah, I mean, at 230, that's $179,000.
So if you took the 261 that you had before and the 53, you got 411, 314.
261 and 53, 314.
314.
Yeah.
And what do you have? What has he got you at? Or what do we?
They have me at $771,000.
Okay.
I mean, that's a big swing. You know, I don't mind paying my taxes.
And we all appreciate that, but.
Then let's go to the land property. Let's go to land value. So
Yep.
they're doing 3861 on 3861 on the front of the building. again, if you go to a similar business behind me on Kings Highway, he's at 36. Even Flanagan is like, he's higher on land, he shouldn't even be higher on land. I don't know why. But again, we're dealing with contaminations, you know. And then the back lot shouldn't be the same as the front lot, you know, it should be taxed as the same, that's what I'm saying.
It looks like Flanagan, they're calling his zone DCD.
Which is the same as mine.
I thought you were C4. I just want to know, I'm not
Are they? Hold on, Flanagan.
Flanagan.
C4 might be the back lot. Hold on, 280 close for Flanagan.
Oh, so no, you're in DCD. Forget it. Why do I see the C4? What is the, oh, the neighborhood code is the C4. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong box. I understand now. You are zoned and categorized the same as Flanagan. Okay.
Okay,
So then you look at your land values, and then you come up with...
now the land value, so they're saying, I don't have that, you took that one from me, so...
What do you want?
It's Kings Highway, is at 30, let's see if you get valued at 30.
I'm getting Coast Road, Commerce. I'm going to move that one to the top. All right. He's got my land, 3378.
Okay, so if we take 33, say, okay, hold on. I just gotta get 2808, so 33.78 times. Now they're saying I have how much land is 280 close to what I have? 12.
But we're thinking it's half and half. Okay?
No, I know, but I'm just taking this
I think it
number.
was 12,000.
I'm just looking, hold on.
Well, here I wrote it down. 12,750.
Okay,
But
so
that's combined.
12. So what do they have me assessed at for?
The land?
Yeah.
You
Assessment.
are the 280. I just got to pull out the ones that are going to use versus flipping it back. Subject, okay. The land appraised is 620.
Okay, so if you take Flanagan's two numbers and merge them, it's still $100,000 difference.
Right, and that's what I was doing. He has two field cards.
Right. So if you put his two things together.
He's at like 570 and you're at 620.
Yeah, which is, mine should actually, if you go by the other properties, like if you go by the neighbor next to me on the two-family, the property next to me for 28.
Well, he'll be 267, because all you can do is build a house on that. Like, he'll be in the twos, maybe low threes.
Right. So
multi-family.
what I'm saying is my property in the back is not improved, so it shouldn't be his value because he's got.
And when I have a little more time, I'm going to look at how he was valued on the, you know, I know now that there's two cards, like this was.
You didn't know.
I needed to talk, that's why the hearings are so good, because, you know, I start going through this at that, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot in here.
Right.
But I totally understand where you're, so what I'm going to do for the deliberation is, I'll make a little chart. We're on Zoom, you know, we're all talking, we got 5 to 7 to 8 of us on there. And for you to ever know what we, you know, for transparency, what works, because it's to the point, we'll make up a little chart. We'll have like subject property and, you know, a couple of things at the column, like, you know, this is what you're being taxed at, this is this rate, this is, you know, a little story. Like you're saying, it's really 2 lots, you're trying to compare it, then you pulled in a few other ones for a basis. And that's very helpful. So that's what I'll do. I'll go through these.
Okay.
If you want to listen to deliberations or
you can see, I mean, that's a big swing. I mean, what they're, like, you know, what they're charging is, it's just
well, and to know what it is. And you gave me another auto body to look at.
Yeah. Two service centers, actually 3. I gave you audit Fairfield transmission.
Yep.
I gave you Fairfield collision, and I gave you that one on Post Road.
Which is a real service.
That's service, that's
Yeah.
another service center.
Right.
And
Okay.
then the one on is an auto body, and the one on Kings Highway next to, Bed Bath Beyond behind me, that's actually in the same
That's across
zone.
the street, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the same
And what
zone.
does he do there?
Transmission and
so-
service. And-
Yeah, so he's a little more service, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he does auto repairs there.
And the collision, that's the one on Commerce.
That's on Commerce.
Right.
So, when I got my tax card, I'm going, okay, they're charging me $230 for office space. I'm like, that's like an A office space charge. And then 131 on the building, which is more than half, is more than half than any of these other buildings that are comparable. And again, mine was built in 1937, which is a big difference from the 60s.
Yes.
You know?
And look, I think your land, you're being honest about the contamination, especially for half of it in the back to see.
Yeah, and that's not an improved
Okay.
lot, you know, that's all.
Well, right, I can't speak for the assessor, but now at least I know. So when I lay out the chart, I'll be able to see.
You wanna have it?
You have definitely given.
So you have a visual of it better?
I
You can have it.
Yeah, no, you know how expensive those are.
No, they're not. So I got it for free. My friend is Neil James.
All right,
He got it for free.
all right.
So I'll leave it with you, so.
Yes, I will take that.
It goes, when you go to these again, it'll go boing, oh yeah, that's where, do I need to sign this?
Please. Okay. So if you have no other questions, I've already gone through that we'll be
No,
deliberating.
because I'm gonna wanna beat a dead horse.
No, and just so you know the process, and then, we deliver it, we vote.
What is it, and usually what's the,
Within 7 days of that, we're scheduling, this is one of the last days of hearing, and then we'll go straight to deliberations. Now, we were working 6 days a week.
okay.
All day Saturday to do it. I feel really bad. I think the secretary's done a phenomenal job of, getting it scheduled and all.
Oh, they did a great job.
But she's getting so dinged and having to deal with people who want everything indexed. I cannot, to be honest, I can't tell you the exact date we're going to deliver it.
Right.
We are going to get through the residential first, and then we're doing the commercial at the end. So my guess, you're going to hear in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Right.
But I wish I could tell you the date, but a lot depends on how well prepared I am. Then we get our quorum of 5, who's working, we pull together at night.
Right.
And
So this is done by five people that are on
there's
the
9
board?
on the board, and we need at least 5, a majority, to form a quorum to deliberate and vote.
And I understand, the town has already assessed this and
Well, that's why you're here.
kind of used the monies already, you know what I mean? So,
Well, it all comes down to your piece of the pie that you're going to pay. We
Right.
don't have anything to do with the actual taxes, so how it'll get allocated. And this is the only way. This is by state statute.
Right.
You have to be heard by a board, so we can make those adjustments.
right.
And then your piece of the pie will be adjusted accordingly.
Right, I mean, I'm sure you have people come in here that don't have any real do I have legitimate concerns? That's,
Again, that's not my role today.
No, I understand.
I think we've gotten to the gist of yours, and I thank you because you've presented the information that I need to make your case.
Yeah.
Some people come in and they just say, this is what it has to be, and
Oh, you
I
can't do
can't even
that.
work with them.
Yeah,
And they are going to be very mad because they're feeling that's not. I'm like, but they gave me nothing to work with. And I try. I try
Right.
to say, can you work with me?
Right.
Pull out the information, because if I don't,
You need to see stuff.
I can't.
Right.
And that's why thank you for doing that and being like, hey, these are my concerns. And I'm like, I know. I'm going to put it in the chart, and that works the best to communicate.
And you're not John.
I'm Catherine. You know what, John?
Get rid of John.
John, I'm Catherine.
Catherine, thank you very
John,
much. Get rid of his, put yours up there.
well, I have to say, I'm dead. This is my favorite. It's what you get used to. So I started in this routine, so I go around and take it. I make this happen.
Oh.
So you all have our little, we get here early, and John will be like, I was one. I was like, I don't care, move this up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
You too. If you don't mind, you tell the Catherine downstairs to rush you up, send the next one up.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
You just have a seat there in a second. I went through the files last night too. There's a lot of paper. I'm not used to a process that's so paper, sound crazy. Okay, and then do this. Okay.
Today's the 22nd?
Correct.
Good. Why don't you spell it out?
Well, I haven't sworn you in yet, so you're ahead of the game there. Okay. Oops.
It's okay if everyone's on this.
All right, Mr. Parker, thanks for waiting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep this so. Wanted to let you know we're being recorded. All the hearings are being recorded. And because of that, we have to do a little documentation up ahead so we can mark the time. So, I'm going to pull out the phone. All right. Here we go. So the hearing will begin at 9:33. This is for appeal number 418 at 170 Pequot Avenue. The owner is David Scott Parker, who is present and will be making the appeal in person. And so, Mr. Parker, I wanted to confirm that the town has your property valued at $1,047,600, and you have a requested value of $670,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. Just want to let you know, my name is Catherine, and there are 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm one of the 9. And my role today is to understand your case, your appeal, and to give you confidence that I can present it. You know, don't leave until you know she gets what I'm trying to say here. And work with me, because I'll let you know what I need to present as well.
Okay.
So that's my role, and then I will present to no less than a majority of the board. So
How are your name again?
Catherine,
Catherine.
C-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-E.
Okay.
And then the 5 of us, at minimum, will deliberate and vote on it.
Okay.
Okay? So, if that all sounds good to you, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now question is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Great. So, Mr. Parker, I see that you have a mixed-use residential,
Mm-hmm.
and, tell me about it, and tell me how you got to your value.
Okay. Can I do something?
Of course.
Okay, so this, the map is on the second page, and it identifies the...
Oh, great.
Okay.
I work best in charts, I have to say. Okay, I love having the background, but terrific. Okay.
So I'm an architect. I live and work at 170 Pequot. At 170 Pequot, which is the first picture that you have behind the map. Yep.
Yes.
Is a historic house built in 1888, bordering the train tracks to the rear, with similar age and scale houses to the east, and is next to a modern commercial office building to the west. And you can see that all on the map. And there are photos of all of the buildings along there.
A beautiful street, right? Charming, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad as an architect you've preserved everything. You've really gotten the character. You don't have the modern building here. Is that the one?
It's the last photo.
Did I not? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
The property, as mentioned, is zoned residential with mixed use by waiver. 170 Pequot additionally is listed and therefore restricted as a historic property under the jurisdiction of the Historic District Commission, and effectively cannot be demolished. I don't know what's happened with Fairfield Real Estate since the last reassessment. However, the assessed value of all but one of the adjacent residential properties went down in value, with the land of all of them consistently going down by 7.2%. However, my comparably sized 0.19 acre lot shows an increase of 55.5%. while all the others were going down 7.2%. And the overall assessed increase in value for 170 Pequot shows an increase of 47.4%.
And I'm sorry, just the title, the 2020 assessed value, that's what you...
That would be assessed value by the town.
And what is the reassessment value 2021?
773.
No, what is that called? Shouldn't they be the same? Are we discussing, or is this really the 2015 assessed value?
Oh, I'm sorry, that would be the 2015 assessed
Gotcha.
value. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, this is...
Thank you for correcting me.
And
Okay.
you sound a little nervous, so...
I am.
So we just gotta...
Okay.
Because I'll be presenting this, I'll be like, what
No,
is
please,
wrong?
please,
So,
that on here.
No, I just...
Okay.
Okay. No, you are good. This is, so I understand. Can I, walk me through a few of these stuff, because you mentioned two things. So, you're restricted, of course, by the Historical Commission. So, I appreciate you buying. How long have you lived there? That's just a new...
Since 1995.
Great. Okay. Lived there. Oh, how about I live there? And you work there. You also mentioned, there's a restriction. You can be commercial only by waiver? And who gives you the waiver? The Historical Commission? Or
No, the town.
The town, okay.
The town.
I just want...
I'm an architect. I live and work there.
You have two bodies looking at your place to tell you how to use it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
where I'm at now.
Yes.
And then, how many of the other homes here are like mixed use?
I'm the only one.
Okay, so the rest of them, other than that, significantly commercial, all the others are just residential?
They're some are multi-family, but they're all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many are multifamily? Do they all look?
I think two.
Okay. Okay, modern commercial is one, and then rest are, okay.
Yeah.
Great. So you're the only one with the waiver?
Yes.
And then, so how does your house, work out? Do you live upstairs in the first floor?
I live in the front part, and then my office is in the back.
Okay. And this is the front or the back?
That's the front.
That's the front, okay. Because I just saw the big addition. So
Yeah.
you live in this part and then you
that,
work in that back?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Just to help me visualize too. Okay. So I'm sorry, did I make you lose your train of thought? Or
That's
did
okay.
Yeah. We're going through this, so we were going through the chart with the...
Okay. So we could go through the chart one by one, but and I can sort of summarize it. The overall assessment of all neighboring properties went down by an average of 8.7%, except for one where the value of the building increased while the land went down. I assume that they must have done some renovations.
Right, and that would be 92
yes.
that you're speaking of? Okay.
The neighboring office building to the west, its value, overall assessment went up 9%. As compared to 47.36% for me.
And it's your house, and that is understood. I definitely hear that. But your house is significantly it's the largest. 92 is probably the closest one. You have 4,500 square feet.
Right, which includes 912 square feet of basement, finished basement.
Okay.
So the cinder block,
And your office, I would assume, doesn't have a ton of foot traffic or driving up or nothing.
No.
It's pretty. Everybody's probably thrilled that you have that office.
I'm known in the community. I've been here a long time.
Okay.
The 2020 assessed value of land under the neighboring office building, which is zoned for commercial use and not historically restricted, and therefore available for development,
sure,
did go up in value, but it only went up 16.7%, as compared with the 55.5% increase in land for mine.
Okay, and I just want to take a look at like what's hanging out in your fields card here.
Mhm.
Mixed use, commission use, oh, commercial use per waiver, that's documented, okay. And you haven't made any, you know,
I've done nothing.
so the office
I painted
already
it, I painted
existed there?
Yeah.
So the office had already existed, that
Yeah.
wasn't, okay. And, I mean, your land is valued at $786,000, I think that's the focus point here.
That's what's right. It strains credibility that my less than 1/5 acre of land, which is next to the railroad tracks and cannot be developed, could possibly be worth over $750,000, or even the assessed value of $550,830, which is what the town is putting on the land. As you noted when we started, the town's proposed new appraised value is $1,047,600.
Okay, and I never know how to ask this. I don't mean it in any way defensive. How did you come up with the market value?
The market value is, I believe, what it was valued at before. And
okay.
Yeah.
I have to bring out my, of course, we never, you know, we talk the assessment and we talk the fair market, but they're never all in the same place at the same time. So your previous assessment was $497,600, and if we divide that by 0.7, we get $710.
So maybe I suppose I should have written 710.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure, because that's...
No, actually, no.
You know, you start delivering, they're like, oh, well, how did he get his 6.7?
No, I did this, I may have taken that then times the reduction that the adjacent properties came in, but
okay, so
yeah.
that's where we're getting. So we're going to say previous assessment, previous 710, almost 711 if we were to round. And then for neighbors, decrease.
Yeah.
You took, and then we got the 670. So that'd be, you know, another 40,000.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
And lastly, you sort of referenced this. I made no changes to the building itself. So it doesn't really make sense to me that the value of the structure in this reassessment is shown up increasing in value 27%. When there have been no changes.
Right. Okay, but it's certainly the reassessment of the land.
Yeah, the land is driving it.
Yeah, that's driving it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, the land's something I can't change. You know, the fact that the railroad's next to me, the way it's zoned, which is it's by waiver.
And, you know, the mixed use, the commercials, like I'm hearing all of those today.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything is very different, and it's hard to get that code because, you know, I look at, you're in a commercial zone, but you're really a resident.
Yeah.
So
But it cannot, it's not like this is prime commercial real estate where you demolish it and build whatever.
Well, and all those people coming in later in the day. So I seem to have, they're all, I mean, in COVID, commercial real estate can use, you know, I've been hearing all the residential, but everything went up, so they're like, you know, the other way. And now I'm going to hear today, like, well, guess what?
Yeah,
Commercial is going to take a while to come back. Why do I have several copies of your field card? Are they different?
Did I send you several copies?
Sometimes, you know, if it comes in different, I just want to make sure that you think you sent in one copy. You didn't
I
send
may have sent in two copies. I may have sent in the old field copy and the new.
All right. I think these are all even printed at the same time. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay, that's fine. But sometimes duplicates just kind of confuse me sometimes. I don't want to miss the point you were making.
Okay.
So, okay, and the railroad is, you gave me the map, but it's across the street or it's behind?
No, it's behind.
It's behind.
It's 10 feet
Railroad
behind my building. The building shakes when the railroad goes by.
Railroad, okay.
Yeah.
Yep, so restricted by the historical, restricted by the commercial with a waiver, restricted behind the railroad, and I did want to, how much of it is your office and how much is it of your house?
It's roughly 2 to 1.
Okay, so this says you're living, the field card says your living area is about 3,200. So your office is maybe 1,000, 1,200 square feet? I'm not going to hold you to it. Well, you're an architect. You have vision. You make the space appear much bigger, I'm sure. Would you say it's about 1,000? Just to... I could probably work out the math.
You could work it out, but it's...
Is it the 14 by the 50 position? Here, I was looking at this. Just trying to figure out what's the... I was thinking it was probably back here somewhere. Like that's
no, it's rough. This is larger than this.
Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but
No.
it's because it goes back to the train tracks.
Okay.
But it's only the main floor of that. The house in the front is 2 stories.
Right.
The one in the back goes back to the train tracks.
All right.
And then it has...
Let's say a 1-to-2 ratio. All right. Okay. Do you have any other questions for me, or I think you presented your case. I think I get it. Just one.
Okay.
First and back, so that's like 1/3 space. And 2/3. Okay. So if you have no other questions, I can conclude the hearing. Just want to let you know we have hundreds of appeals. These are one of our last days of hearings, and then we're going to go start deliberating. Well, we've been deliberating all along, but we are queuing up at the schedule. You're going to be heard. Nobody's going to forget. I think it may take us a few weeks to get to your deliberation, but then once we make the vote, you'll hear within 7 days. I just know our secretary has worked so hard to get it all organized, and maybe what you could do is just listen for when the commercials are being heard, and that's when yours will be heard. Mm-hmm. It's tough to get everything scheduled.
So mine's reviewed by commercial, even though it's zoned residential.
We all review them all. So you're going to hear some of the same people, but yes, you are scheduled. I'm going to present my other neighborhood first. We probably could have done you with the Southport Pequot, so I may bring you up as I'm more ready. And that's probably what I'll do. I'll ask the secretary to get it done, but they're all going to get done, is what I'm saying. It's
Okay.
Just,
I'm not worried about that.
The actual date
Yeah.
of when it is. They're currently working through all our neighborhoods. We've got our charts, and what's been great is more than one person will hear a neighborhood or a group, but very limited. Like I'll hear 10 of the commercials, so at least you get a perspective. Although your commercial is not necessarily
there's a world of difference between me and my neighbor to the west, which is a huge office building modern office building with an elevator and
the gentleman there before you with an auto body. And so they're all, I've also heard I've heard a lot, a big chunk of the multifamily. So it's just that, and yours isn't even outside commercial because it's your home with an office attached.
Right.
So, I will take a look to see how your neighbors are all zoned and how that works to the zoning, because it's clearly your land. So we're going to have to look at how that is. And I would say one of our styles, if there's a few of them on the board, we'd like to not just come up with a number and kind of, I'm being facetious, but we're looking to not slap that on top, but to find out, is there a code, is there something that maybe he should be adjusted and get that baked into the field code.
Yeah, it just
doesn't come back as and I think it's coming back because you're listed as commercial property.
Yeah, but it's not going that way. And
you're certainly not listed as a historical 1880 beautiful Victorian that happens to have a very quiet office in the back that the homeowner works in. It's a different, so we get that.
Okay.
So we will hear that. There will be, I will present it, and then there'll be a majority will vote on it. Mm-hmm. So I want to let you know. And then you will definitely hear within a week of that vote.
Okay. Approximately how long?
Last week we were saying, we're going to finish everything by the end of the month. Then we have Easter and Passover in there. So you're going to hear, I would be realistic, not speaking for the board, just as you as a person, I would expect you'd be deliberated early, right after that Easter week, early April. Okay. That would be my guess. for you to hear definitely by Monday. If we're not too messed up by everybody's schedules for Passover. It's been going along, yeah, she keeps along with us. She's the one who scheduled it. She's making me work 70 hours a week. But it was a pleasure meeting you.
I'm sure.
So take a deep breath, enjoy that sunshine, and wish us both good luck in all that. So I just, we're all good.
Yeah. And thank you for serving on the town committee. I've served on the committee.
She's always recruited me. No, I mean, it's a great group of people, but it's
Good. No, it's a thankless thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind telling Catherine, the woman out downstairs, just send the next one out. That'd be great. Thank you. Hearing concluded at 9:53.
You actually have a phone next, I believe.
Oh, boy, and I make you come up all the time.
I'm happy
I
to get,
figured it out.
I'm happy to get my life moving.
No, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, okay.
I will call her.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks. Good morning. Dana? I'm sorry, Ms. Larson?
Yeah, this is Dana Larson.
Hi, this is Catherine. I'm calling for Fairfield Town Hall about your board assessment appeal.
Yeah.
I know it's very early out there, and I know I'm running late. I'm just going to offer you're ready up. Do you want me to call you back in a few hours, or do you want to continue with this early bird call?
You know what, since I'm up, I will take it now.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just felt bad. You know, it's like 7 o'clock there, so.
Yeah, I had called to try and change it, and they said, oh, we didn't have any other times to give you, is what they had told me.
We're doing all morning hearings now. We had a few at night before, but I'm sorry to say, you're stuck with this early bird, so.
Don't worry.
Okay, I see that, you have some straightforward concerns here too, but want to let you know that everything's being recorded, so I have to do a little record keeping here.
Sure.
The hearing will begin at 9:57 a.m. This is for appeal number 135 for 70 Reef Road, owned by 70 Reef Road LLC. The appellant, Dana Larson, will be presenting by phone, and she is the owner of the property. Is that all correct?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. Thanks for that. I do have if you could raise your right hand, so I swear you in, you will say, do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment of field now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, today's the 22nd, that takes care of that piece of paper. Okay, and I have this, okay. Ms. Larson, so the town has your property valued at $1,189,700, and you have a requested value of $950,000. Can you take me through how you got there?
Sure. I really kind of tried to combine some of the methods, although we were sort of limited in the amount of information we could find, as there was no current sales falling during that base period. I did find one similar property that fell just outside the base period by a couple of weeks. That was comparable, in terms of age and usage and that kind of thing, but towards Southport Center, so not exactly in the same area, but that's the only thing I could find that was close. That had sold for $1 million and was fairly comparable and had an assessed value of $698,950. So that's substantially less than what you guys had given us for the 2020 assessment.
Right, so that comp was at John Street, right? That was on John Street? Yep.
Right.
Was that also a restaurant? Because you're the restaurant right on the corner of Sherman.
It wasn't. It was office space, and we have office. I couldn't find any restaurants that were in that category since we had office upstairs, and that, I just couldn't find anything comparable. That was the hard part with the sales approach. And then we have had an appraisal done in June of 2019.
I'm looking at that.
What's that?
I'm looking at that. I see that one. Yep.
And he had put it at 990, but it was sort of a limited purpose appraisal because we just had to evaluate it, give it a value at the point of our inheritance of the property so that it could be depreciated properly.
Understood. Yep.
And then I also used the income approach, which had given me, I used the method that my assessor had given me, which was the cap rate, and I used the cap rate that he used and the net operating income, and I came out with an estimated value at $921,359, which would lead to an assessed value of $645 roughly. So I really was kind of splitting the difference between all those and sort of, I just threw the 950 out, but my biggest concern was the square footage. That somehow we have, or you guys have, and it's hard because you guys call things differently than I call them, what we call the third floor of our building.
Oh, I saw pictures of that attic. There's no handrail, right? I mean, you could just... We allow the second floor tenants to use it for storage if they want it, but there's no heat up there, and the pitch of the attic roof line, you can't, you might be able to put a desk in the middle of the room, maybe, if you didn't mind not having heat, but it's not really functional space, and it looks like it's being counted as living space. And so I had just kind of come out, if I removed that square footage on a basic cost per square footage, it was, we were coming up with around $1 million for an assessed value in that, but, not assessed. Right, no, it was in. So the first floor is a restaurant, and during COVID, I'm sorry to say, it's still been a restaurant, right? You've been collecting the rent for the year?
Not right now. It's been months of half rent. He's not.
But the restaurant is still operating there, but it's during COVID, and he's going to come back. I just wanted, they didn't vacate. They've still been operating.
He is still there. He is trying to sell it right now. He's going under, but he's been able to pay us about half rent, this year so far. But he's looking to get out. But he has a 5-year lease with us, but he's trying to sell off.
Yeah. look, that's how restaurants are, you know, I'm in other restaurants and I'm appreciating, yeah, so there's that. Who's the tenant on the second floor?
We have none. His lease happens to have been up in September, and they learned to work from home, so we have no tenants right now.
I don't necessarily need to know the name of the tenant, but what kind of tenant rent? What was the space used for?
It was just a small office space for a computer-related, computer-related company. They all just learned to work from home, and so right now we have gotten 0 hits since September on the space. It's just, I think that for that size office, unfortunately, in the past, it took my father, you know, oftentimes a year or more to fill that space. It's just kind of an awkward space. You can't have customers really.
Well, there's no lobby, right? I mean, this is just somebody who comes in and wants to not work at home. They just out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. I can picture it, and I mean, I have dined at that restaurant, but my friend it used to be her favorite Greek restaurant, and she moved away, and so I haven't. She was my reason to go there more time, and then look, I'm living here, you know, it's totally. So I totally get where you're going from. Okay. And I can see that you came up and, you know, you're really just looking for like a 10% adjustment. I mean, and you gave $90,000, $89,000 for your income. I'm looking for that. I'm sure you really didn't make that last year, or that could be last year's, but you don't have a stable lease in place for the next time. Your potential gross income of just over $100,000. Do you think you're going to see that? Do you think you're going to see that in 2021? I think that's my question.
Absolutely not, because we still have no one upstairs, and the restaurant is only paying half each month.
Right. So what do you think you are looking at?
So he's giving us
the rent, right?
It's probably like $40,000. You know, depending on whether or not we keep lowering the price for upstairs, but we're still not getting any hits.
Okay. No, I don't want to belabor it. I'm just trying to, again, build a case. And I you know, sometimes these scripts, I find that my role today is to understand your position, you know, where you're getting from, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, I'm starting to blur my script. I'm hearing you. I will remember our conversation, but I don't always remember. The blur comes from the script. But my role today is actually to understand your case and to make you confident, to give you enough confidence that I can present it to a majority of the Board of Assessors, which is at least 5 people. So that's why I'm trying to ask the questions that I would ask, you know, to see, well, this person needs, and so maybe you're looking at 40 this year. And you know what what I struggle with as a board sometimes, especially on commercial properties you know, we give you the reduction, it's for 5 years. So, you know, well, we're like, oh, you know, we so readily give it for like 1 year, but then, you know, we're held for 5. So sometimes I'm just trying to get a compromise going on it.
Right.
And I do understand it's a restaurant how long has that restaurant been there? Do you know how long he's been? Because restaurants do change, but he's been a bit stable for 4 or 5 years.
So he took over, he for sure did about 5 years because he just signed his 5-year, but it was a restaurant before that he was affiliated with. So he has been at least part owner for, I think, 15, because he was affiliated with the previous restaurant that was in there as well.
Yeah.
And he's had other restaurants. He's proven.
Yeah, he's proven, definitely.
Yeah, he is, but he's also not sold on Fairfield being the right spot for his restaurant. You know, the trend in the restaurants that are doing very well in Fairfield and Black Rock in that area just, you know, are a different animal that he is. He doesn't have a bar. He doesn't have, you know, so it's a quaint little place for, you know, older folks to grab a little lunch or, you know, it's just doesn't have that hot vibe, you know, and he didn't seem to want to try and, mix that up a little bit, you know, to respond to COVID. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Right now, I think he's frustrated, you know, because he's like, I struggled to survive last summer, and now it's just still going, you know?
Yeah, it's tough for all of us, but,
Yeah.
well, Ms. Larson, I appreciate your time. Do you have anything else that you want to say, or?
No, I guess I would love to, I'm not sure how I would go about adjusting that square footage, you know, sort of officially, just, so that at least that element is, you know, properly recorded in there. I don't know how, you know, what I'd have to do that, but, it might not be through you.
No, it would be through me. We will start it. I was looking for your field card to make it because I wanted to come up with a number, but I don't see your field card in here, so I'm just gonna look it up. We all have different formats that we like. It's in here. So your first floor of the restaurant, 1,700 plus, and the upper story is 860. That your AOF, that 254, and the 76, I guess, is what you're looking for, like 284 to come off the living area. Would that be about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, eliminate 254 plus 30 off area. Okay.
Okay.
So the square footage then would come down to about a little less than 2,600.
Correct.
Okay. Well, terrific. Thanks for getting up so early. Hope it's California sunshine. And if you have nothing else, I don't have any other questions. I think you've got everything here. So I can conclude the hearing as long as you're okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the thing I was able to find. So, yeah, I appreciate your consideration. And what is the time, like, when do you present to the board?
Well, last week we have over 600 appeals, so I'm going to be real with you. Our intention was we were going to hear everything and deliberate on everything by March. We can honestly say we will be hearing everything. All the hearings will be done within the week. And then we have been deliberating, and we need to make some faster progress on that. So I'm going to guess in the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll have deliberations and vote, and then you will hear within a week after that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we'd just be notified, you know, when we get our July bill or whatever.
No. You will get something, you know, you'll get a letter in the mail within 7 days of the vote. And there will be, you know, there's 3 options. One, we can deny you, and then you can come back next year. If we reduce you, you have to wait to the next reval year to come back to us. And if you don't agree with us, then you can go to court, and all those instructions will be in that letter.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, can I have your name again?
I'm Catherine. I'm Catherine, GIFF, GIFF, and I am on the Board of Assessment Appeals. I'm just one of 9 members.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dana. Good luck.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
If it was before the church, there would be ability. That's the great thing.
Well, that's a good thing, that
Yeah.
it helps you,
Yeah.
so. Okay. I'm just gonna, whatever you're on left.
Okay.
Take your time, do not slow. I'm also running a little late, so this will allow us to catch up.
Okay.
Okay, so who else, no, I think I just,
Okay, so then we might
Well,
have to switch
99.
over. Okay, so they
No,
split
but,
between. Okay.
yeah. I don't know, did you
That's fine.
request them to be heard together? Sorry.
Well, they just had them 15 minutes after each other, so usually they say, but that's fine. I mean, we could do one here and then we'll do, so you have 599 Kings Highway West.
I
Okay.
do.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, you want to sit here?
No, you can sit there, that's
Well,
okay.
listen, you can be in the red chair.
I'll
You'll be in the hot
red
seat
chair.
over
The
there.
hot seat,
You got the switch over there. Be nice.
And your name is, again, Mr. Russo is more used to this, but we have a little bit of a script. I'll let you know. Everything's being recorded. Oh, okay. And so for record keeping and so forth, I'll just go through my spiel and then I will turn it over to you, okay?
Fantastic.
The hearing is going to start at 10:14. This is for appeal number 416-599 Kings Highway West. Owners are Joseph Bertini, who I think is present right there, and Geraldine Carson? Yes. Second one. Okay, great. Both are here as appellants. And want to let you know, my name is Catherine. There are 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm one of them. And what will happen today, my role today is to understand your case. So that, and to give you confidence that I can present this to a quorum or a majority of the board, we will deliberate and vote. So we have to get an understanding. You have to be confident that I can say what you need
Are
to
you
have.
a real estate counselor or what's your background?
Well, because it's being recorded, and that's a little beyond, I haven't been asked yet. I've lived in Fairfield for over 40 years. I have done various things. I have bought, not just in Fairfield, but I have bought different types of properties. I've owned a few homes.
Okay. Real estate background.
Well, and I think I've lived here more than I'll say I have a real estate background. So
Yeah.
I've lived here and I've been part of the community.
Yeah, well, that's good.
PTA, and we're on our 4th house. I've lived in various neighborhoods.
Mhm.
We have you beat. We've been here about 60. All right, well, I didn't know it was competition, but we're in good shape here. So, wanted to let you know, and then if you could raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
There's a sheet of paper up there. If you could sign that you've been sworn in, that would be great. Okay, so now the very important piece of for the record is the town has your property valued at $1,228,500, and you are requesting a value of $950,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. Great. Okay. So, walk me through how you got up to the.
Sure. Well, I think the overarching thing is that we are in a worse position than we were in 2015. Not only are our rents below 2015, we're down 21% in rents collected from 2015. In addition to that, we are we're on month-to-month leases now for our tenants.
And I'm sorry, now this property is, tell me like what it's used for, 'cause I can't really.
So there's Macware's in here, you know the Macware building, have you seen that one?
Yeah, okay.
Fred is there, the
Dance studio.
the dance studio.
Yeah.
which I think at the time of October 2020 had gone down to 3 students being allowed into
And they're literally
space.
dancing with the stars outside.
Yeah, and they were doing stuff out in the parking lot.
Those were for fundraisers too, they were doing a
Well,
great
yeah,
job
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was used, so, those are your two tenants?
Yeah.
In the one building, yeah.
In the one
That's
building.
599 Kings Highway,
Yeah.
mixed use.
And that's
Yeah,
what was
in the
that
back,
house?
there's a back house there, that's,
Owner occupied.
So that's where you live?
That's where I live.
Okay. That's where you live.
and that's why it has the Kings Highway West address and not Post Road address.
That's where, okay,
Yeah.
because I know.
Right,
there's a lot of
it reaches to the back, the house, you enter the house from Kings Highway West.
Okay.
So,
So, and those two clients have been there a long time,
Long
long
time.
term. I mean,
Yeah.
5+ years, if not.
You mean the tenants?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been there since 2010, I believe.
Right,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
and I guess for COVID and whatnot, you've been probably getting concessions, giving them concessions.
Correct.
or-
Even before then, we gave concessions, I think it was October 2017, we had a lower max, we were to rent $1,000 a month because of retail, just not doing that well. And then was it October 2020, or we had a lower, so we're losing like
yeah, they do.
24,000 a month for Macware, and, we don't see the rent going up at all.
Right, right.
It's not gonna go back up because retail is,
I have one paragraph,
online.
I have one paragraph that sums up the whole thing. You just take a quick read of that, and that really explains the whole situation.
And is that the letter that's in here, or is that?
You may have it, do you have it there? Let's see. Yep, you already have it, okay, great.
My daughter wrote that, it's very concise and
Yeah.
I remember reading.
Just something to refer back to.
Yeah.
The rents have gone down to basically $12, have gone down to $12 a square foot. Again, we're down 21%.
There's no storage prices.
It's basically like storage, and for Macware,
He's using it as
he's
storage.
using it as storage. I mean,
He
it's
told
not
me,
really.
he said, I can work out of my garage, and that's what I'll pay. He put the price on the table. He literally walked out the door.
Right. I mean, essentially, it turned around where he was dictating, it's either that or he was walking. And so they had to make massive concessions. It's down 21% from 2015. It is a month-to-month lease, which means for financing purposes, whether it's them refinancing or someone coming in and buying,
Pretty good, huh?
it's tough to get financing.
And what do they rent for now, the month to month?
$12 a square foot, $2,800 in Macware.
And Frederick Steer is giving us $3,500, but of course there were like a lot of concessions, with
Yeah,
COVID.
but that's what they're at now.
$13.
Well, we got no rent, or, that's their rent, what they should pay if they can pay.
That's their lease agreement.
No, they don't have a lease,
They have
they're month
Yeah,
to month,
yeah.
they both month to month.
Nobody signed leases.
So basically, they run the show right now.
Yeah, they can move out like any time, and they let us know that, I mean, they're great tenants, great people,
Right,
but they're suffering and they're trying to keep their business afloat,
And they used to rent for hire? And they used to rent for like
Uh,
5,000, 4,000?
we used to get back in 19, so
Oh, no, we're at 2,000, so take it
Yeah,
down.
okay, I mean, we used to get like, when soccer, rugby was there, we were getting 120,000 a year. So just to show you,
10,000, wow.
just to show you how much, now we're getting 60,
But it's,
oh, that would be like, how much,
That's fine. I mean, that's, and Fred's there, that's,
I'm just saying, way back, we would get like
Yeah, like 8,000.
120,000 a year, now we're getting like 6,300 a month.
Mhm.
If we're lucky, if we get the rent.
If you get
Sometimes
the
they
rent.
say we can't pay it.
Right.
and just so I understand, because, my style is I actually like to see what everything's coded, because now you have half residential. So I just want to make sure, like,
Well, let me
what's
give you-
actually on the field card?
Right,
And
and
then
let me give you this, because this is just a little cheat sheet for you. It's got the, I just analyzed it next to, the reason why the value went up so much, and obviously we think it's gone down since 2015, but just so you can see, the reason why we came so much up in our appraisal we've gone up, from 2015, we've gone up 8.8%. The reason is a big jump in our land appraisal, went up 13%. I tried to find kind of a comp multi-tenant undersized, because that's the other thing with this property, is it's undersized. So if a restaurant I do zoning as well. If a restaurant wanted to go in there, it wouldn't have the parking. So it doesn't have a lot of parking. So it's limited in its ability to bounce back in the future.
You said it doesn't have walk, people.
Yeah, it's not a walkable area,
Like
right?
the
And
town.
it's not one of these areas.
No, it's got,
Fairfield downtown has gotten a slew of apartments here. That hasn't happened over in the western side of Post Road. Even by Fairfield Metro, the new train station, a lot of more units have been put in there. They haven't been put over there. Southport downtown, which is near here, is much more walkable than where this is. But so when I compared it to with another kind of non-conforming size-wise property on Post Road, which is the 3430 Post Road, which is Southport Automotive. It's got two uses there. It's got the liquor store. It's got Southport Automotive. It's non-conforming in size, non-conforming in parking like we are. They only went up 2.8% in their land appraisal. For some reason, ours jumped up 13. So I don't know what the reason is for that. But you know, it just seems to be way out of whack. I mean, and essentially, again, we're in a worse position than we were in 2015. We're now month to month with all our tenants. Our rent's less, so we're down 21% from 2015, and so we think that is the justification for reducing this. It's certainly not. I'm surprised to see it being raised. I don't.
well, this is your home, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I'm like, well.
Yeah, I'm assuming, you can't really see from here.
Yeah, but
It's
you know, the funny
definitely
thing
not
is,
from the front of the property. It's
Yeah,
from your
599,
home.
that would be
And
it.
how much of the property is your home? Then do you have a backyard?
We don't have it subdivided, I have a little backyard, a very tiny backyard, and a little side yard.
And I'm trying to find like,
the piece itself is 0.28 acres, so it's
tiny.
it's a tiny piece, and half of it is out.
could the house be split off? No, is it, like,
It's non-conforming and we need variances.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
split
you
off
would
the house.
need to apply for variances to split.
And when I look at, again,
way
just the
outside.
field card, I look at, the first floor and the upper story is 5,400, like, where's the house in that? Like, I don't know how to break out the other
Well,
buildings.
but yeah, see, you know what's funny is, this is a mistake on the field card. If you look at, it's 4 pages long. On the 4th page, they still show the house again. They don't show the Macware building.
And I see, is there 4 pages in your packet of that?
Yeah,
So your vision?
that's vision.
Yeah.
What I gave you has the actual field card.
And I see only the normal 2 pages that I normally take. Am I missing something, or did you?
What I gave you, yeah. So if you look, so, there you go.
I'm gonna.
If you take the clip off.
There we go, okay.
So the top one is all 59 pages, and that one's the comp, yep.
Because that's, I'm just trying to,
Correct, yeah, no, I got
see the
you.
components that are going in there, so.
So the first 2 pages are about the Macware
Building.
building,
Okay.
even though the picture is wrong.
Yeah.
It shows a picture of the house, but you can see it, it says.
But this is, so the 5,400 is the Macro building.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Now,
Let's see.
Okay, and then where's the information about the house?
The part about the house is the 3rd and 4th pages, because that is,
So the 3rd page is probably almost a repeat, it just doesn't, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look-
I've got
but you
that.
see
12, but it's all.
3 bedrooms,
The data has.
1.5 bath.
1,600 square foot house. Okay.
1,600, right, yeah, it's small, yeah, 1,600 square feet.
And so that comes up here, yeah, see, I'd love to see separate lines, like, but.
so we
we're
it's
gonna
not
do
subdivided,
15.
so, but we do have a fence across separating the
Yeah.
building and the house, and then it's goes down and there's an alleyway, and then the
It's
building.
non-conforming, but it's pre-existing.
Yeah, so, Chris, like a commercial building like that, 453, right? Does that include 215 of this building? Do you think, like, it's not a separate?
I think,
You know what I'm after, like?
Yeah, no, I know what you're
looking
saying,
through this.
yeah, no, that's it, I mean, that
Okay.
includes, Yeah, because the property's total 1.228, yeah, the land is all together.
Right, so it doesn't give anything to the land.
No, yeah, 'cause
I
you-
just wish there was a separate line.
I hear
You know,
you.
we don't have that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
What's
if
this-
you look at,
What's this commercial outbuilding? Must be small, 13,000?
I think that's the paving, I think, you know, because
Oh,
I've
it
been
is.
down
It is.
several times
It is.
about the outbuilding, they said that's the paving, because they don't have an outbuilding.
Right,
Yeah.
it just goes in that,
correct, yeah,
in yard items.
right,
as an all-
right.
Okay,
Yep,
all right, so it is 1,600 square foot house, 3 bedrooms,
3 bedrooms, one bathroom, one
is
bath.
given,
1.5, I think.
215. Is given 215, and then the total is 453, so whatever the difference is the Macware building.
Right, and that, I mean, that building is,
Is that with the land?
Okay, and
I mean,
then,
it's a.
and then we have the land,
It's a 1904, the commercial building was built in 1904. So I mean, it's really old, and you can see there was something, there was a small interior alteration in 2001. There's been nothing on the commercial building. You know, so that,
1904.
So
Okay.
how much are you saying the house is valued? I'm sorry.
215.
The house was
215
valued
for the
at,
house.
and so where are you coming up with 4 something?
that's including the
the-
commercial building.
Oh.
So that's the
I was just trying to find-
215 to there, the 453.
So the commercial building is valued at 238,000, your house is valued at 215,000, and then the land, or we'll put in the asphalt for 13, and the land for 751.
And the building?
Okay. Okay.
So I think the house was the same valuation as the building.
It's a little less.
Must have gone up a lot, the house then. Okay. Thank you.
13, okay.
I remember the house was only like 89,000 not that long ago. So that went up considerably.
And then just a question, so how did you actually come up with 950?
It was taking the reduction that we received in the rents, the percentage that we
Did you
got.
have a cap rate then, or?
On a square footage that would be normal, you know, with subnormal, but based on the square footage we have now, that's using a cap rate, that's what about your.
And that's what I was just wondering, how you came up with the
Depends on the
950?
metrics you use, if you use the price per square foot, what it should be valued at, it brings you down, you know, we're down to 12,000 square foot, which is storage space. It's not really retail, it's not even retail.
So you're saying,
The aggregate
well,
price,
it's not 12,000 square feet.
No, that was $12 a square foot, down to $12 a square foot.
Okay, and,
2,800 square feet, $2,800 rent, $12 square foot.
wait, I had my handy field card, so so the mixed use of the square footage, so you're saying, and I'm paraphrasing, but you need to know that, like, you have to make me understand, so
Right.
so I can say it back out. So if you took the 5,500 rounding, Macware building,
Right.
and you put it in as storage at,
Right, $12 a foot.
at $12 a foot.
So that brings you to approximately 55. The $12, if you said it's actually 5,600 square feet. So 5,600 square feet at $12, that's $5,600 a month rent roll, which is about 20 or 30%, which quick calculate off the mark of what it was.
Yes, yeah.
So therefore, the valuation should theoretically be less, because the conversion was based on the rental of space. Well, what it's worth, I don't think it's.
Absolutely, right, so that's what I was trying to come up with. So you take the 5,500, you do it by the 12, so that would be, I
Rent roll
think,
of 50.
60,000 in rent,
Yeah.
65,000 something, 70,000 in rent,
It
in that.
rent will be 5,000 a month.
Because that would be annually, right.
At $12 a foot.
Versus the 8 to 10 that you were getting.
So
We were getting up to
Well,
10,000 a month, you know, back before.
it's off by a percentage of what it was from the 2004.
In 2015, they collected $97,000 a month.
Okay.
In 2020, they collected 73,800. So that's what we're trying to say.
Right, the valuation.
It's not just risk.
And what cap rate do you?
Well,
more or less?
someone would probably want to return on their money of more than zero, which was the bank is giving.
But that's why I was wondering what your cap rate is.
Probably 5%, 6%.
Okay.
So that brings the valuation way down.
And that's the rent, that's not the expenses.
Yeah.
That's not even the taxes.
Yeah, the taxes alone on
The
that
taxes
property is
theoretically should
20,000,
come out of the tax rate.
21,000.
The taxes should be
If she
part of the
looked
tax
at,
rate.
if you look at the tax sheet I gave you, she could see
But,
the
you know,
expenses.
to really bring it all home,
And of course, I'm only
the
claiming
rent
half of
roll
the
is
expense.
20-30% of what it was. And just that dynamic alone, that doesn't justify
Nobody gave you a
tax, you know,
No, that's what I'm just trying to come up with that other, because even if 70,000 was your profit, then you'd
No.
have a higher value
It would be.
than
You could
50.
say,
That's what I'm trying to say, like, at $70,000 in rent, do you know what your carrying charges are, more or less?
yeah, well, the taxes is
We
20,000.
have it right here on my
$11,000.
tax paper.
And then other than the taxes, do you, I mean, I'm
So
sure
we-
there's,
So
snow
there's other
plowing, there's
expenses.
snow plowing,
they pay for all of
the
the,
maintenance,
Don't see
is
the rent there, because my brother and I own the property together, the rent's down here. See where the X is in that black box on the bottom?
Which is my half
oh,
then.
your half, your half.
Yeah,
My half, okay?
Yeah, okay,
Okay, because my brother and I own it together.
okay,
And then it shows the expenses that I claimed, and that's half of the expenses.
right, so.
Because I claimed half of
Exactly, so I
the
could just double the whole thing.
Yeah, that's how I claimed half of
Right,
it.
and I don't wanna keep this, because this is, I do not want this in the public file.
I got you.
So I'm just gonna look at, I appreciate you showing it to me, but it's coming right back.
Visually, yeah, I
I'm not
got you.
taking
Well, if you
anything.
wanna make a copy of
Please
it.
Well, you
don't,
don't wanna keep
no,
that.
I don't, because I don't want this to
Public.
be in the file, it would be public information.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna read a few numbers into the record, and
Okay.
you're gonna take it back, and I'm not gonna take
Okay.
it. But, you know, you show that, half of the net profit would be about $29,000 based on, and again, these are half numbers because of the 50% share.
Right.
You have the rent for 46,000, and this is for your
And then
2015,
Right.
so your 2015, okay. And then you go back, you have the insurance, the mortgage interest, taxes, depreciation,
And
you
that's
know,
all
your total
double.
expenses come up to about 18,000.
And that's double, is that correct?
18. Right, and
Okay.
I'm just gonna use for the
Okay.
half share, and that's, okay.
And then you got the
And then
one in
depreciation.
2020.
Right, okay, but that's the deal. So I'm gonna hand those right back, because I don't want
And
Yep.
you
anybody knowing that I have any more,
And you can look at
social
this.
security numbers.
You wrote down the
You know,
2020
it's not like we're crying wolf either. We've always paid our tax. We've been here for 60 years. We've always paid our, we never went behind on our taxes. And we know the town has to be supported, and the taxes were a little tough, but we always made ends meet. But now it's dynamic, not just the COVID, but the digital change. There's also, you know, as that letter shows, what changed with people
The one
going
that,
digital
yeah,
and shopping online. I mean, Amazon and them beat up the roads. We have to pay the roads, by the way.
and I would
And they pay
say,
no tax, totally incongruous to, you know, the way it should be. They should be an internet tax on it. They do it in Europe.
oh, exactly, instead of the
You know,
physical.
so, I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know, we're bearing all the expenses. And if our rents were, if we were getting what we were getting years ago, we'd say, okay, have a nice day, we'll pay the tax. I don't care. You're gonna pay something, it's gonna pay something. But our rents are cut 20, 30, 40%. It doesn't justify tax increase. We don't think.
Can I ask one question? Did you write down the 2020 tax info?
Oh, is that the second page?
Yeah.
I got afraid. I got afraid of holding somebody's tax.
No, you have to write down the 2020.
No, I just wanted to know, your expenses seem to range, you know,
Yeah, but
maybe.
that's the
So the
computer.
2020, her income on that one is 36,900.
Times 2.
Yeah,
Then times the two.
That's 2020.
and same in expenses?
So it's
About
17,220.
18,000 expenses. That's what I was just trying to get at, it's about
Okay, just
40,000
looking
in
to see,
expenses.
some
It's a big
period.
hit. It's a big hit.
Yeah, no, No, so about 40,000 in expenses, including your taxes and depreciation, and insurance, and
No, they're
repair.
not gonna have time for 3280, so I don't know.
Yeah.
'Cause
No, that's somebody else's.
That's
I
somebody
don't,
else,
I
that's
don't
somebody
know
else
that.
got that.
You didn't have to do both in
But
15.
Judith is doing it. I told the girl up front.
Oh, you have somebody else doing that?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
Okay, just, I'm just trying to come up, and I think it's probably in the cap rate. So you're looking, even at 70,000, so if you're looking at 30,000 40,000 profit split
Right.
versus the, so,
It's a tough situation, and everybody's gone through it, we know that. But, you
it's
know,
not gonna get better though, because the tenant, like a
it's
backward,
going to be a while, well, and even,
I said he'll move out, you know, so it was somebody
Well,
else's building.
it's
people are
a
not-
harsh business when people get down to the value, you know,
Yeah.
it's tough when you, and month to month, to have to deal with it on a
Month to
monthly
month,
basis,
it's a big,
it's
it's a
brutal.
big deal.
And like I said, we don't have any walk by traffic, you know, so ours is gonna be
You're
a
gonna be
lot more
spoiled.
difficult to recoup.
Well, hopefully there'll be a lot more weddings and big venues, and I know when my children got married at big venues, they always got a lesson from me from Fred Astaire.
Oh, really?
Yes, mother, son, and father, daughter.
And hopefully they allow more than 3 people in there, you know.
And, right, and you can't do that with, hopefully we'll be looking at happier times this
they
summer.
send me text, one of the owners sends me a text, we can't afford food, I swear to God, you know, they're trying to pay their rent, we told them, we even gave rent abatements, and they're so proud of what they are and what they do, they make the best effort in the world to pay us. We don't want a handout, we want to pay our fair share, but we're struggling. We're struggling.
Well, and the demand isn't there, so it's hard, I'm hearing that, like, you know,
Yeah. Well,
I know that's not
pass it on
complicated,
for it.
that there's more of us.
You probably heard a lot of this, it's probably, the whole day is gonna be people who complain, you know, to the commercial and
Well, I've been doing it all month, so I'm okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your
Well, it was
patience.
a pleasure, so we,
It was a
you know, we're
pleasure for
going
us.
through all this deliberations, and
Okay.
Well,
you will
hopefully,
definitely hear
you know,
from us before you get your tax bill, you'll hear what the vote is.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
You know, anything you can do for us, we appreciate. Like I said, I'm afraid of
You know what,
foreclosure.
you each signed one, but this,
Or
is
the
this for your other one? How did you get that?
How did we get this one? I don't know, but we got it, I'll hold on to
I
it.
think you need to hold on
I'll
to
hold on
that.
to it.
And sir, could you, Jared?
Yeah,
This was one sheet
Oh, okay.
for the one property that we discussed. So if you could
okay.
just sign under her name,
And I can sign too.
and that's for the other,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, anything you can do for us, you know, I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose my home at my age, and I lived there for like 60 years.
no, we don't want
So I'm
anybody
afraid it's gonna
to,
be foreclosed, the property.
well, let's,
I mean, we're gonna afford over $20,000 in taxes if the building's empty, another $6,000-7,000 in insurance, who can afford that? You know, if you don't get any income coming in, so. But thank you. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
meeting you.
thank you, take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Oh, great. I'm sorry?
No sense, both of us together.
I appreciate that, because, it just gets my cardio up enough, and then I'm kind of breathing heavy as I have to talk into the phone, so, sorry, I'm running a little late today, I do appreciate you waiting. We are being recorded today, so for the record, I have to read into the hearing, the recording. The hearing will start at 10:43. This is for appeal number 127 for 14 Sanford Street, owned by Mary Burke, and it seems like there's a trust or some life estate. And I'm sorry, you are, sir?
I'm William
William?
Burke, right.
Are you a trustee or
My mother,
executor?
yeah, my mother has owns it and has a life estate on the other. She owns half outright. She has a life estate on the other half.
And how does that let you be the appellant? Unless you have an affidavit or...
I do.
Oh, okay, great, then I'll take the affidavit, that's what I was looking for.
Okay. And this will be the truth, the whole truth.
Here. Yes, and then the next thing, okay, sorry.
That's right.
Is that, okay, thank you for the affidavit.
Yeah.
Perfect. And yes, you are right. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Burke, the town has the property valued at $1,262,400, and you're asking for it to be revalued to $1 million. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. How did you come up with $1 million?
Well,
And just tell me about the property and your plan.
we're right next to, well, two things. One is the property was appraised at one point for refinance, and the appraiser measured it, and he came up with,
Square footage.
yeah, which is about 870 roughly feet less than the.
And that's been going on for decades, right? I think the appraisal was done.
In 1994, yeah.
Okay, so it definitely needs to be remeasured.
Okay.
All right, so the field card, the square footage that town says is the town has it. Do you know what the square footage the town has?
The town has it at,
Okay, 2,900.
5807.
Oh, I see it. Split on the pages. Okay, remeasured. Okay, so the town has 5807, and an earlier appraisal has it at, what was it in there?
4938.
Okay, terrific. Over 2 floors, correct?
Yeah,
For both? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Is this where Party is? I'm trying to think of what.
Yeah, Party was there.
Okay.
Right.
And now, who's there?
Well, right, the shoe store just closed. There was a shoe store, Perfect Pair of Shoes.
Okay.
They just had their going out of business sale.
Mm-hmm. So, you had tenants longer term until COVID. I mean, they were pretty consistent, were they before that? Just trying to find out.
Well, Party left, and then, they left about 2-3 years ago, and then the Perfect Pair came in, and they, died because of COVID, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, is it vacant?
It will be vacant. They're still getting their stuff out.
Okay.
They're closing. They just had their going out of business sale like last week.
You know, they're leaving by April, May.
They're leaving by April.
Okay.
Yeah, they're out.
Sorry to,
Yeah.
yeah. And so do you have it back out for rent? You know, what are you hearing? Are people,
We have it out for rent. We had we had a palm reader, or a fortune teller, but nothing they said seemed consistent with anything that they could give me. So that didn't work. So that's not going to work out. A couple of people expressed interest in food. We don't really want to have food in the building. And then.
and you like to have one tenant, even though it's the 2 floors, one for the storage and their operations, or?
No, there's offices above.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it.
Retail below, the offices, and how do the offices rent? Do you have people in there? Or?
Yeah, the person directly above is about a month behind in the rent, and everybody else, well, let's see, on the Post Road side, the Snappy Gator,
Yeah.
they sort of self-reduce their rent about $400 a month.
Is that the same building?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so how many tenants, maybe I should start, how many tenants do you have in there?
2, 3, 4. There's 4 on the first, well, there's now 3 on the first floor, but
But
there's
there you have 4 retail spots?
4 retail.
Okay. All right. And then upstairs, how many offices, or?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Okay. And they're all like,
They're all rented, yeah.
and they're all office type people, you know, it's not, they go there and they work, they don't see customers, or they don't, you know, what kind of office work do they do?
There's 2 offices, and then there's 2 kind of business offices where.
Yeah, they just want space, so they go in, they work, there's not a lot of foot traffic going up and down, it's kind of regular hours, there's no, like you said, no restaurant, you like to keep it
Right.
kind of on the simple, and, okay, and they're all rented.
They're rented. And then there's a lady who does this meditation stuff, who is on the weekends, and
Okay.
that is foot traffic, but less now because of the COVID.
There's always that, like, office is such a broad term, you know, so it's offices and services, okay. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So now I have a feel for
Yeah.
what it is.
Basically space like this, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
It's just.
Right, so people,
Yeah.
nope, totally get that. So, it just seems like that's 9 tenants.
Right.
For even 5,000 square feet, so the offices are quite small, I would assume.
Yes.
You know, you have four retail and, you know, say 2,500, but everybody's pretty much got like 700-800 square feet. They don't have large.
No.
Right, so they're all pretty small. Okay.
The shoe store was 570 square feet.
Yeah, that's what, I'm just doing the math, and
Yeah.
you know, there's not like one dominant, they're all around that. Okay.
Right.
So each one is about maybe 700 square feet. Okay. All right. Now, how did you get to the 1 million?
Well, I guess I looked at the sale price for next door, the community building sold.
Yes.
Which actually surrounds us.
Yes.
Because it's on 2 sides, because they actually own behind us and adjacent and on the Post Road side. And that, it's actually, according to the field card, from the same year.
Okay.
So I took the field card measurement on their square feet, which hopefully is right, and I divided the sales price by the square feet. And I got 191.67, which if we.
Yeah. And then you multiply that by your.
Right.
You're valued at $255 a square foot.
Right.
Okay. Based on square footage, price of community theater. Okay.
And then I added a little bit because that's about 950 because we have a roof that works, which I don't think they.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that was one of the problems with the theater was the roof was.
Well, and, I mean, the theater was a large space, that wasn't, but however they configured it,
Yeah.
they got a theater back in town,
Yeah.
so, okay. Well, I'm very glad to hear that you have so many rentals that you are diverse enough that somebody's in there renting, which is great, because we are hearing from some restaurant, some one-tenant buildings.
Right. I mean, we've lost one tenant, and we've taken the snappy people have been pretty aggressive in pushing back on the rent. The appliance places, they're doing okay because people are home breaking appliances.
Yes.
So
Well, it's good that you have this diversity, though, because that's what shows that, and small offices are probably, people need to get out of their houses, so as for renting a small space, I think people are amenable to that, too.
Right, although we were kind of overemphasizing ladies' clothes because we had the shoe store and then Snappy and Lamoda are all, and, there's just...
They bring in a certain clientele.
Yeah, but they've also taken a hit because why do you buy clothes if there's nowhere to go wear the clothes? So
Right.
That's been a problem.
Well, we can all keep our fingers crossed that we're going to need new clothes to get out more. Wouldn't that be a nice thing?
Right, it really would, yeah. So we are less diversified than perhaps we should have been because we're 3 of our 4 retail stores were different types of ladies' clothes.
Sure. But it's nice that you didn't have one. I don't know, I'm just, I'm hearing from restaurants, they have one restaurant in there, and it's like,
true.
well, and you can either be a restaurant or not, for the zoning and the food, so,
Right, my parents actually owned another building down the street at one point, and they got rid of it because of that, because it was, great when it was rented, but it was just
not so much,
accurate when it was, that's right.
Yeah, so, I'm glad to hear that. And if you have, so I understand when you got the number, I will definitely, request the appraiser, the assessor to go out and remeasure and make sure that you get the right square footage too.
Okay, thank you.
That can be done, and if you have, nothing else to say, I can conclude the meeting, I can let you know our next steps, or...
Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
Okay, so I'm one of 9 of the Board of Assessment Appeal members, and I will present your case to at least a majority, so at least 5 people. We'll deliberate, and then we vote, and within 7 days of the vote, you'll get a letter by mail.
Okay.
And 3 things can happen. We can, we can deny your appeal, and then you can come back next year. We can grant a reduction of some sort, and then you have to wait for the next reval period. And if you don't like any of the decisions, then you can go to court. And all the instructions for that will be in the letter.
Okay.
And I see that you are an attorney, I'm guessing from your email, so you're probably familiar with that anyway. But just want to make sure we're all clear, and then I conclude the hearing.
Yeah, actually I was on the board last time.
Well, there you know all that. Yeah. Oh, and you didn't come back for so much fun. We're having over 600 appeals. It's daunting.
Yeah, no,
Why didn't you come back? We could have used, you seem to have a very calm demeanor. You had enough. You did your service.
I did my service. You have Kathleen. Kathleen.
She's great.
She's
really organized, but it's 600 appeals. It's a lot. So, yeah. She's over there. So it should be fine. It was nice to meet you, Romeo.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.
Have a great day.
Do you want me to send the next person up?
Oh, that'd be great. Actually, I think I have a little bit of a break. Oh, my next one's a phone one. So you're off the hook.
Okay.
I have to call on the phone. Thank you.
Sure.
Your call cannot be completed if...
Hi, this is Catherine from Fairfield Town Hall for the Board of Assessment Appeals.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Am I speaking to Jonathan Ekman?
That is me.
Hi, nice to see you. Well, not see you. Nice to hear your appeal. I hope is it a good time?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Okay, great. The appeal, as all appeals, is being recorded. Just want to let you know that. And for the recording, there's a little bit of record keeping. So, want to state that the hearing will begin at 10:59 a.m. This is Appeal 382 for 441 Kings Highway. The owner is Trust Realty Corp., but Jonathan Ekman of Fischel Properties will be the appellant. Are you the owner, sir?
Well, actually, I'm the secretary of Trust Realty Corp.
Great. Okay, I will just make a note of that. Like to know to whom I'm speaking.
Yes,
okay. Great. And if you would raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, the town has your property valued at $1,344,100, and you are requesting a value of $1,011,080. Is that correct?
That's correct. That is correct.
Okay, great. How did you get to the $1,011,000? Tell me a little bit about the property.
Yeah, so a little bit about us first. We're commercial real estate developers. In fact, we own the building at 501 Kings Highway East, directly behind the restaurant. At 41 Kings Highway, that's where the Board of Ed.
Okay, yep.
And so we look at properties from an investment side of things. And when we ran the numbers for the income that was derived from the lease, which I believe I made a copy of for the record as well.
And I just want, this property is that typically been an Asian restaurant. Right at the end of like where Jennings Road comes down to Kings Highway?
Exactly right.
Okay.
And, the company that runs the restaurant is called Rice Bucket LLC.
Okay.
And again, I submitted the lease that's in place for the record.
I am looking at that.
Okay. So the lease itself for a rent and a CAM charge. And the CAM is a fixed fee. So also what I submitted was an income and expense statement for 2020, which was based on the lease value of the rent received through 2020, plus the actual expenses that we incurred, and came up with a total net operating income, which we assigned a 7.5% cap rate to, thinking that was fair for the market for the particular area.
Okay, so your total, just to go through some of these numbers again, because, you know, it's a hearing, your rental income, I'm looking at the income and expenses, your rental income is about $113,000, your expenses come in about $37,000 for a total, you know, for a net income of about $75,000, $76,000, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And at a 7.5% cap rate, we are coming up with a value of the 1011?
Yes.
Great. Okay.
As a quick aside, I should tell you that, you know, 2020 was a very strange year as far as, you know, normal business goes. And
well stated.
Yeah. To be fair, we used the lease income as far as this analysis goes. In reality, we collected only $55,000 in actual rent for 2020.
Okay, that was my next question. And you were expected to get the 113, although I see, what did I see here? The rent is 96. What's the other 15?
The other is a fixed common area maintenance charge.
Okay.
when you run the numbers out, today's rent is a little over $21 per square foot, and the fixed operating expense charge, which was negotiated at the time of the lease, is a little over $2.50. So the all-in rent is about $24 a foot plus they pay their own utilities.
Gotcha. Okay,
And
so
another difference is the value of the building.
I appreciate that. Okay. And you collected instead of the 96 plus, instead of the 113, or instead of the 96, you collected
Well,
only 55?
In place of the 113 and change, we got actual money in 55 and change.
Okay. Gotcha.
But again, understanding that this is a blip, we thought it would be fairer from an overall standpoint to use the actual, lease income that was designed to come in, if you will.
And I appreciate that, because something that I personally, try to reconcile is, we're very, very hopeful that it's a one-off year of 2020, and yet, your appeal will be in effect for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that you're taking the long-term view, and, well, let's just say, I appreciate that. It's just hard to come up to somebody that year. I mean, and you're negotiating these rents. Ma'am, is Rice Bucket the current renter? Is it currently renting? I thought I saw a non. Are you still collecting rent? Do you still have a tenant paying rent this year?
She is still in business.
She is?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. And this lease, when does it, because I have 2018, how long does it go for?
It's a 5-year lease,
Thank you.
and there are options to renew it as well.
Okay, so it's in effect.
Correct.
5-year lease from 2018 to, okay, terrific. Okay, I've got your numbers. I don't have any questions, let's put it that way. I think I understand your case, your numbers are good, thank you for the backup, thank you for being succinct. Do you have any questions, or?
Nope.
Okay,
Pretty
so,
straightforward thing.
yeah, well, we hope. Sometimes there's always a surprise, but I can't think of anything else. You've got it well documented. So my next step will be, I'll be able to make the presentation to the board, the majority of the board, and then we will deliberate, and we will vote, and within 7 days you will hear about the vote.
Very good.
Terrific. Well, thanks very much for your time. And I hope you have a good day. I will conclude the hearing then, if all is good with you, at 11:06.
It is. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Good morning.
Good to meet you.
Can we sit over here?
You sit in the blue chair.
You sit in the blue chair. It's dark. Like 20 feet of separation.
We're all trying.
Yeah, I hear you.
We are. We're doing pretty well. And I will say, if I don't quite look, I get a little glare,
That's perfect.
so I don't normally see quite out there. But welcome to Town Hall. Thank you very much. Okay, great. Sir, we're only recorded, so there's some things that have to take place for the recording. So if you don't mind, the hearing will start at 11:20. This is for Appeal 315. The property address is 187 Kings Highway Cutoff, owned by 187 Kings Highway LLC. Jeff Delaney. Hello, Jeff.
Good morning.
Is present, and are you the owner or what is your
Owner.
You're the owner? And if LLC, you're the owner of it or?
It's 187 LLC, right.
Okay.
And you, sir?
I'm Peter Bimini, I'm a real estate appraiser.
Okay, go. Terrific.
How are you?
I am good. Okay. Great. Okay,
Would you like this back?
well, after you, I will swear you in.
Okay.
Amanda, I'd like to get things done, that sounds great, okay. So if you raise your right hand, listen. Do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment and field out questions shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, great. And so, you know who I am, there's 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, I'm one of them, and my role today is to understand your case, and to give you confidence that I can make a presentation to a majority of the board to plead your case. And at that, we will vote and deliberate, at least a quorum of us, at least a majority of 5. Okay? We know my role, we know this, we know that, and now, the town has your property valued at $1,686,500, and you're requesting a value of $1,400,000. Is that correct?
Actually, my analysis came a little higher, $1,488,388.
Are you, I know how this goes in our Rogers Roof, are you amending your request to $1,488,388?
Based on our,
$1,488,000? Well, thank you. We don't often have people, okay.
It is what it is.
I was sort of shooting from the hip a little bit when I filed it.
Got it, so it's all good. Amended by, so I can, it's all the way it's presented in the,
Sure.
in the form. Okay, terrific. So, someone want to explain the $1,488,000? And I believe, is this the car dealership, the Lester
Well,
dealership?
this is part of the dealership property, but this is owned by Mr. Zelini,
Okay.
and he leases it then. There's an income and expense report filed with the town that you probably have last year, 2020. The income and expense report reports that the owner receives $130,000. You want a copy of it?
I would. It's not
Is
currently in the file.
it okay to give it to him? Well, this, 2019, exactly. Okay. So this is a copy of the income and expense report filed with the town,
Thank you.
and that's, of course, as you know, that's under oath.
You're very spry over there. You got a lot of energy. That's a good thing. Okay.
And that's under oath, of course. As you can see, he receives an income of $130,000, has expenses. It is not a triple net lease. It's a gross lease. He pays the real estate taxes, he pays the insurance, and such. So the other sheet that I gave you is what I felt the market rent would be, not just what he's receiving from the tenant, but it's actually higher. I came in at $21 a square foot, so I actually came up with $163,000 last time.
And I'm sorry, you got 21 a square foot?
$21 a square foot.
Okay.
And that's on a gross basis, plus utilities. So it's $163,590, and I took out vacancy for 5%, as you can see over here on this.
And now I got this. Okay.
Okay, so on the top part, it has the income, that's would be market rent. Down on the bottom, there's no other income received from the property. On the bottom, it has the expense of 15% for the property.
Mm-hmm.
And the very bottom, what you do is, when you have a cap rate, and I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Well,
Okay.
what's your cap rate?
So I'll explain that to you.
Okay.
So typically, when a property is rented triple net, you have a straight cap rate. When you do on a gross basis, where obviously the owner is paying the taxes, you have to load it. Okay?
Oh, right.
And you load it with the mill rate.
Yeah.
So in this box down here, you'll see my cap rate is 7%, and then I loaded it with the mill rate, and so I came up with an 8.88 cap rate.
So you need almost 9% to cover the taxes.
Well, yeah, that's the split. 1.88 is
the real estate
that's the
tax.
tax load, they call that, exactly.
Okay.
And you divide that by the net operating income, you come up with $1,488,000.
Okay. And so when you take that, so that is based on the loaded rate value of property. All right. And so,
I don't know what the revaluation company did, but that's regardless of what they did, yeah.
commercial properties, we definitely are looking more at the cap rate. And
Exactly.
it's an investment property, it's not you working at it. They're all complicated, they're all special. They really are very, it's not the same as a residential, a house is a house is a house, and you can compare.
That's right.
It's tough to come up with a way. So, you are using, you came up higher, trying to say this favorably so that why your request is so reasonable.
Okay,
I'm trying to come up with those.
So typically, what you do is, in tax court, they do what they call, it's an ad valorem de novo valuation, okay? So the courts have ruled, I do this for a living, they've ruled that you look at contract rent, but you also look at market rent. So
And that's where I'm going, so you.
Yeah, so if we looked at contract rent, the value would be substantially lower. But we looked at market rent, what they call fee simple, not lease fee, but fee simple.
Right, okay.
And that's the fee simple valuation that we brought it in. We could have blended it if we chose, but
Well, but the contract would have brought it down.
It would have brought it down.
Right, you weighted the highest market value.
yes, that's correct.
Okay. And that was using the $20.
$21
Square foot, but, okay. Not the contract. So I think that's a great argument for the reasonableness that you're not in here trying to cover all your expenses. So that's
Correct.
That's positive, thank you for that. And how long does your lease with Lexus go, or how long has it been in effect? Is it a 5-year lease that has?
It started in, I might be off a year or two here, but I believe it was about 97 or 98. And then it was renewed, and I think it currently right now expires in 2026. I might be off a year.
Is it like a 10-year or 7-year?
It goes in segments of 5.
5, okay, and then with options.
Yeah.
Okay.
Discussions and options.
Renegotiation.
What I want, what they want.
Exactly.
Okay. Well.
Any other questions? It's pretty cut and dry.
Well, when you look at it this way, yeah, and you make a case and it's very succinct and it gets down there and.
This type of property, we try to break it down very simply. We simplify it. It's income, expenses, and cap rates.
Right.
And that's what you have on that sheet right there. It's income, it's expenses, it's cap rates.
And I hear different cap rates, but they're all, 7 is, I'm not saying, you're totally in line to be done.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it.
Where do people come up with that? Like, is that just what investors demand? Is there a set rate? I ask that for more like, when you get a mortgage, it's like, well, it's going to be, this basis points over.
So think of this. It's a relationship, okay? So, a mill rate?
Yeah.
Well, a mill rate is nothing more than a cap rate. It's a relationship. It's a relationship between what the town needs for the town budget and what the grand list is. You divide the two,
right.
Less, state funding and all that stuff, and you come up with a mill rate. It's a relationship. A cap rate is a relationship, but it's based on an investor's cost of money and risk. So they look at the risk involved, they look at other things. So apartments right now, you can see apartment complexes going for 5 and 6 cap rates.
Yeah.
Big Avalon, the
Right.
big ones, okay? And they're very hot. People looking for a living. Okay? Retail has, because of COVID, has really, really done poorly.
Yeah.
And cap rates are going to 8 and 9%, And so depending on the retail, depending on the type of retail. Pharmacies are doing well, they're down, 6, 7. Fast food restaurants, heck, Chick-fil-A go for 4.5 because there's no risk, because they're highly touted as far as risk.
What about another restaurant though, like many of the restaurants in downtown Fairfield? And yes, this is not your appeal, so I apologize for that, but it does put in the perception because the risk factor.
And what if you had to rent it to somebody else besides the car dealership? retrofit to a restaurant, retrofit the whole thing, so you have enough parking, so you have all the other things associated with it. You know, it's really
So
weird.
restaurants higher or lower?
Restaurants are higher.
Higher, yeah, okay.
Fairfield, though, restaurants, quite frankly, have done pretty well there. Downtown Fairfield has done much better than the downtown Westport market. And the downtown Westport market is more national tendencies.
Yeah,
They
right.
were national franchise clothes and so forth, clothing. That trend really has gone down because of shopping online. So you'll see downtown Fairfield, and I've done the analysis on both, so I know it. So downtown Fairfield has fared better, but you're still going to see higher cap rates because it's more risky.
So you might see that more in the 6 to 7.
I think you're going to see restaurants probably between the 7 and the 8. I think it's more risky. Now that we're at open up 100%, hopefully we stay there. Restaurants can come back and so forth.
We're all hoping for that.
We'll probably see 50% of restaurants go out of business.
So how does car dealership, so this is where I can get back, so where's car dealership, because they're all really in there, so how do you get them? Because I think the space is enormous.
Well, no, it's not really that big. It's only 8,000 square feet, 7,790 square feet. It's not a big building. And now that half the building has a little showroom in front.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 garage bays in back for repairs and stuff. So it's not really your typical car dealership as we know it, okay? Like on Commerce Drive and so forth. It's a little bit different there. Car dealerships have suffered only because of the inventory. They couldn't get cars. They couldn't get them out of Japan. The shipping and everything else. It's been difficult. It's coming back now. It's increasing, but they have fared better than like a mom and pop or a retail or center. But as from a risk standpoint, they're right in the middle. That's why the 7% is reasonable.
And it's risky because you can't always get your supply of product, whereas the fast food restaurants, they're just going to run. You just know what they're going to produce.
Well, it's easy. It's commodities, right? So they can get products. Try to get a part out of China right now.
Oh, well, and what I hear oddly, and that will be a total tangent, is a lot of it's getting things into the port. So I would imagine that would be even more sensitive for the cars to get things in and out of the port.
There's a shortage of shipping.
So my other question then is, if you didn't use the higher market rate and you did use the contract rate, the contract income,
right,
and you still used that cap rate of the 7 with the loading,
right,
what would the value have been?
So that's a great question.
Thank you.
Right,
I come up with a few. Sometimes it takes me a little.
So let's use $130,000. Okay, as reported in 2019. Take 5%, reduce that. Take 15%, reduce that. That brings it down to $104,971 of NOI, which is net operating income. And divide that by the cap rate.
So I'm sorry, what was the NOI? 104? Is that what I heard?
Yes,
okay.
And you divide that by the cap rate of 0.088, you get $1,182,000. So it's like $1,182,000. Yeah. And that would be based on the lease.
And that I think will help our presentation. I call it our, even though it's your presentation, but when I present to the board, it would be great to have those two numbers. To show your reasonableness.
It is, because if you
I hope you agree with that, because that's what I'll be doing.
I think it's a very good argument.
Okay.
Yeah. If you went to a bank, the bank would be lending on the lease. It would be the lower value.
Right.
Yeah. True.
So, well, I appreciate your reasonableness and your patience with walking me through these thought processes, because it's all about connecting the dots, risk to there. So, do you have any other questions for me, or I think you?
Just for the record, there are no repairs done on the facility. It's strictly a clean it, wax it, and they do their advertising photography in the back.
Well, no, sorry,
because they're not zoned for repairs.
I apologize there.
Okay.
So it's a prep center.
It's a prep center.
Well,
Okay.
they don't need any repairs. It's such a good car.
Okay.
I don't know.
They'll be happy to hear you.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Is this the point where I give you the discount coupon for the car?
no, well, we won't discuss cars.
Okay.
But I appreciate your time, great explanation. Thank you for
Thank
documenting
you
in
for the
a
opportunity.
short, succinct, get to the point, because sometimes it's hard to read through a lot of information, so I think you pulled out the pertinent things, and, let you know.
What, 30 days?
So, we're hoping, look, here's the deal, we're gonna hear, this is one of the last days of hearing. Our secretary's done a phenomenal job of grouping, so we're hearing all the commercial together. And then when we deliberate, there's 3 of us hearing the commercial. We're gonna make sure those 3 are in the quorum, so we're all hearing the same thing. So there's a good, you don't go in like a deer in headlights, so there's, there's some familiarity with these. We have 650 appeals.
I heard that.
We've been deliberating through most, from a lot of residential, but, it's going to take us a while to get through all the deliberations, especially trying to get the most knowledgeable quorum of people together. Our goal was to finish everything in March. I can tell you that that's just not going to happen. But they're not letting us go away. They're going to put tax liens on our house on Tuesday. So we're getting them scheduled. As the hearings end, we'll have more time to deliberate and get the quorum. So we do hope to get through them in 2 to 3 weeks. But as soon as we make the vote, you'll hear within a week of that. So you won't be waiting until July or so. And I think this is something, we all want to finish up too. So I like to deliberate pretty close to the hearing, within a week or so I have it all. And so I would expect we do have Easter and Passover in that. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to say it'll be the first week in April. Might get to the second week in April, but
I hope they're feeding you at least.
You know what? We actually deliberate at home on Zoom. It's really, because, we can't be together.
Oh, that's great.
And the town hall, we keep it open late.
Yep.
So we'll suffer.
It is.
It's been a lot. So, that's why I kind of like the cases better. This is what it is, this is rational, this is reasonable, and, I appreciate that, so we can move through it.
Super.
That's where we'll be.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, thank you.
Thank you for your time, and have a great day.
You too, thanks.
Do we need to tell the young lady we're done?
You can on the way out, and you can tell her to send up my next one.
Okay, thank you.
That'll help me. Thank you.
Sign anything, right? You don't need to sign anything?
He signed, and as long as he's the owner. Hearing concluded at 11:40. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Mr. Hamel?
Yes,
Hello.
I sit here.
You sit there, please.
I have appraisal and CMA.
Wonderful.
I'll
Will help
see
me.
you in the phone.
Okay, thank you. That's great. You have appeared on and off my list, so I know you've been
I
here,
know.
this is like your third or fourth scheduled time, right? So I want to tell you, I believe you're my last hearing, so you
Oh,
will be
wonderful.
fresh in my memory.
Great,
This is
thank
a
you.
momentous day for me as well. We are
Busy
being recorded, so I have a few
Busy
things
month
to
for
say
you,
for the
yes.
record, if you don't mind. The hearing will start at 11:45 a.m. This is for appeal number 48550 Geneva Terrace. The owner is Target Insurance, LLC, and Michael Hamoff is the owner and president of that company?
Yes, member.
Okay. Great. Okay. Mr. Hamoff, would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. The town has your property valued at $471,300, and you would like consideration for a reduction to the fair market value to $400,000. Is that
That's
correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Just so you know, my name is Catherine. I'm one of 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals. My role today is to understand your case and to give you confidence that I can present it to a majority of the board who will deliberate and vote on it. Okay? So that's my role, not just, okay. And, oh, I see now we have 2 things. So tell me about the property and, okay, so at 10-1, let's take the obvious. You have a 10-1-20 appraisal.
Yes.
And the appraisal has it listed as, you know, the appraisals are so standard except for a couple of things. The closing date, the sales date, which, like, that's very important to me.
Right.
And what they say they're...
So I underlined where they said the value.
Thank you.
To make it, I was looking for it too, that's why.
And I said, you know, it's so hard to present because there's like 2 pieces of paper.
Right.
We're all like, whenever we're on this.
Right.
And you know what? We just had a hearing. And we're like, oh, when you have a professional appraisal, you're like, hey, this is it. You talk about it a little.
Right.
None of us could find what the appraisal
The
was.
value, yeah, so I circled it out. I was looking for it
So thank you
myself.
for including the whole appraisal, because a lot of people say, oh, they don't need that piece of paper,
Yes,
and
so
then
it
it's
says-
the page that has it.
Yes. So the appraisal, I was talking to her and she said, because you bought the property in 2020, they should have just give you the value of the sales price because your comparable is the best comparable because that's what you paid.
You paid
And the property was on the market for more than like 300 some days.
Okay, so the market had been on the market, was on the market for a year or more.
For more than a year.
And when did you close on it?
And we closed in February 2020.
Okay, closed 2020, February 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, and you paid,
$400,000.
and you paid the appraisal, okay. And the
That's why-
appraisal was done, you seem to have it updated though, so,
Oh, no, so I contacted the appraisal, to do appraisal for the evaluation year. So it was done as of the,
okay, but did you have an appraisal in February when you bought it?
the bank probably did it, yes.
Right, and you're done, you didn't give me that one.
Oh, I don't have it.
Okay. You don't have it as,
Yeah, the banks,
But it's what you paid.
I financed the property and the bank, I thought that one wouldn't work because it was kind of old.
very true.
So,
Okay,
I
that's a good
talked to
reason.
the appraisal and they said that I have to do appraisal as of the evaluation date. So they have to do it as of whatever the
But old comps,
assessment
those are
date.
the old comps, these will be more current comps, so
Yes.
let's, so you've got Geneva Terrace, Royan Street, are they both, this is a multifamily, is that correct?
No, it's a single
It's a
family.
single family, oh, but you rent it? No?
Well, I do.
No, it's a single family investment property.
Yes.
I say that because I heard many of the multifamily, so
Oh,
the
okay.
original time you were scheduled, you were in that list.
Yes, it's a single
Okay, so
family
this is a
investment
single
property.
family and you do rent. And going through these, I'm just gonna see the dates of the comps that they used in June. Which again, that's the second piece of information that is
It's
always
right on top
difficult.
usually. when-
Usually, but not always. The date, the interior, blah, blah, blah. All
Or
right.
sometimes it's a sale date, yes.
That's what I want, the sale date.
Yeah, maybe it's on the bottom of the comp.
Exactly, you know where I'm going, here we go, right in the middle. Right in the
Oh,
middle.
okay.
Perfect. Date of sale, okay.
So she said,
February,
yeah,
July,
she used,
December.
for whatever reason, she used my house as the comp number one.
I see
Because
that.
because she said, you know, the town shouldn't
It's the
even,
best comp.
right, she said the town shouldn't even, you know,
Keep
consider
going.
anything else because you bought it on fair market value.
Okay, and they have some small adjustments here. You have a garage, they don't, they added that to it, and adjustments, okay. Looks pretty standard there. So they adjusted mostly for the garage, and mostly you have 4 bedrooms, and they are slightly smaller. So they adjusted those prices up. Okay, perfect. And these are the pictures. So it's just because last year was such an unusual year. Were you able to rent it? Did it have a tenant?
Well,
How are you going on that?
I rented it most of the time on Airbnb last year because it was very strange time when people wanted just for 1 month or couple months.
Okay.
And so.
I may not, we're not, I don't know how the rental market, I don't know that we're allowed to have Airbnb.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't, it was
Okay.
very few
And
people.
will you be renting, that's your plan, to get a long-term
Yes.
renter in there?
Yep.
Okay, which hasn't happened yet?
No.
Okay,
No,
it's another thing for you to do.
I have my friends living there now. They rebuilding the house, so they rented it for a while.
Okay. Nope, that's all good. And you also had a CMA, was this when you bought it? This is a realtor?
Yes,
CMA?
no, it was just done for me
Oh,
for the,
okay, for this.
yes, for this.
Okay, and you had that for research and prepared. He's not familiar with him, but I guess he's a realtor, correct?
So it was just basic information. Yes, a realtor from independent realtors.
Okay.
And I think there are very similar comps to the appraisal, and there are some other ones that, you know,
May I have
where, you
these for
know.
the file? Is this okay to use my copy?
Yes,
Okay.
both for you.
Terrific, you don't always get all these colors. Okay. Do you have any other questions? Thanks for coming back over and over again. Okay, so I appreciate your time. Great information. I mean, both the comp, CMA, that's a lot of information. And if you have anything else to say about the properties or the pictures, you said your friend's fixing it up. It looks great.
Oh, no, not my house. No, they building their own house. They live in my house now.
Oh, well, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like it's in great condition inside.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
It looks, I mean, everything is old, kind of Home Depot stuff, you know.
Well, it's not, but you know, it's freshly
Yeah.
painted.
Oh,
it's not-
yeah. It was rented for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. But again, like the house, you know, I don't know if it says in appraisal the condition, like, you know, the roof is old, so it might need new roof soon. The windows are old, like all the, you know, it's not, you know, it has fresh paint, but it's not a new house. It was built long time ago.
It's not a,
I think the basement was flooded, you know, a few years back, and it's all, you know, gutted, and it's not finished, and I don't know if it's, you know, they say it might flood again because it's in a flood zone.
where it is.
Yep, it's near the marshes, kind of, and I think maybe, I don't know, whatever storm was here, maybe it got flooded back then, and
We keep our fingers crossed the flood stays out. This town has seen its share of flood.
but yeah, everything is pretty standard, pretty basic. There is, you know,
Well, like that, the two appraisals.
it looks pretty nice. You know, people like to rent it. So.
That is a good thing. If I have no other questions, so if you have
Do I
no other
need
questions,
to-
would you sign that? That is that you were sworn in.
Okay, that's
Here.
what I.
And then we will conclude the hearing. As I said before, I will be, presenting your appeal to the ISAR. That just shows that
Do I
you're
need
sworn
to,
in.
oh, my
That's
name
it.
is here,
That's
okay.
it.
Good. Thank you so much for your time.
It was lovely to meet you,
Yeah,
finally.
nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank you so much.
We'll be in touch. Take care. The session for Bridge 2 for March 22nd morning hearings is now concluded. It is 11:57 a.m.